Well, hello there, all you absolutely magnificent people, and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays. We talk about nature while playing games. My name is Will, I'm an ecologist by training, and we are back in Enshrouded. And well, today we are heading out to go get the crucible and to get the saw blade for the table saws. So those will be our missions today. Now, I think it may be morning, but it may be early evening. We'll have a look in a moment. But let's start heading out, shall we? And let's head out to this spot of mine, this fast travel point right there, which is relatively close to where the crucible will be. And that is in that direction. Now, it is raining, it seems, here in the Revelwood, which is very nice. Oh, it's lovely. I really enjoy the rain in the game. It does, of course, mean that my stamina will be, shot. But that's all right. That is fine. That is fine. Oh, before I forget, I actually have a whole bunch of skill points I can choose here. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to get Waters of Life here. It's 2 points, but it does mean that I get another 2 health per second, I think, per 2 intelligence. So basically 4 health per second extra that regenerates. So that brings it to a total of 6 per second. And now what I'm going to do is, just to make myself a little bit more beefy, is I'm going to grab 2 points of Constitution here. And then I'm going to start heading a little bit more into the Beastmaster tree here. I'm going to grab Snake Eater, which will be very nice, considering that we are going to fight against a Matron a little bit later on as well. And then we need to either level up or do an elixir well before we can get Mithridatist. Now, Mithridatist here refers to mithraditism, which is the belief that you can actually build up resistance to toxins by being exposed to small amounts of it at a time. That is because of King Mithradites VI, I believe it was, who was the king of Pontus, and his father, in other words, King Mithradites V, was apparently assassinated with poison, most likely arsenic. And so King Mithradates VI developed resistance to toxins by taking a cocktail of toxins in small dosages every single day. And by a cruel twist of irony, when he was beaten in battle by Pompey, I believe, during the war with Rome, he wanted to end it all by drinking poison, but he was unable to die because he had built up a resistance to the poison. And so he had to get someone to actually stab him. So, yeah, cruel twist of fate there. Now, just to ensure that we are able to get back into the fight quite quickly, we're just going to create another flame altar and place that down right over here. And as soon as we are done here getting the crucible, then of course we are just going to delete this flame altar. And I've got a new spot already in mind for it. And we're just going to start shooting the enemies over there. Oh, there are 2 apparently there. 1, 0. And now there's just a wolfie somewhere right over there. I should be dead. Oh, no. Flames did not get him. All right. Wanted though. There we go, Mark of Sameth. I really love the attention to detail. I mean, look at this. There's a toilet here, right next to a bubbling cesspool. So, yeah, we don't want to get into that. We're going to get E. coli and all kinds of horrible diseases. There we go, we're getting some copper ore in this region as well. So, Mark of Sameth here, really a great spot to actually get copper. And we are going to set up a flame altar a little bit deeper into the mine. So, interesting, the leader Sameth wanted to dig more elixir wells. Elixir wells being the kind of the source of all the problems we have in this world here, because that allowed the shroud fungus to emerge from where it was underground to, well, the above ground world. Oh, there is a guy there with the acid edge, which is not my favorite guy, not my favorite enemy at all, so I'm just going to, shoot him from range a bit. And then we're just going to, ooh, wail on him. And thankfully I have got bleeding on him. I love the fact that I've got a bleeding gem. Ooh, we actually got the weapon. Oh, wonderful. I'm going to put that on display. I love the fact that our gem here on Hail Scourge is actually the gem of bleeding. I think is it called the gem of bleeding? Yeah, there we go, the gem of bleeding. Critical strikes cause bleeding. So 12 extra damage over 6.6 seconds. And ooh, I do believe I see something glowy in there. Indeed. Another fossil. What have we got? Trilobites! Oh, wonderful. So the trilobites, oh, they were absolutely awesome creatures. So there we go. Trilobites. Trilobites. Tri referring to 3, lobe referring to the 3 body segments. So not head, thorax and abdomen. No. The trilobites here refers to the fact that you've got this middle ridge here and then 2 body segments to either side and then a very much segmented body. And that's the characteristic of trilobites. The trilobites here almost appear as though they can roll into a ball, which we call volvation. But not all trilobites could do that. Like we imagine armadillos doing that, but only really 1 or 2 species can do that. The majority of them can't roll into a ball, can't volvate. But the trilobites, they were extremely successful. Extremely successful. They survived multiple of the major extinction events, only to eventually go extinct, I think, around the Triassic, or just before the Triassic, if I'm not mistaken. So, now they survived, I think, the Silurian extinction, then they survived another one. Yeah, they survived a whole bunch of extinction events, but eventually there was one straw that broke the camel's back. So eventually then they just completely disappeared. And their niches would then have been taken over by things like horseshoe crabs and all kinds of things. They were scavengers. They were benthic scavengers. Benthic referring to them of being on the ocean floor. So scavenging on the ocean floor. And we're just going to whack these spooters we come across here because, well, they are still aggressive towards us. We haven't gotten the Beastmaster skills yet. And then there's another bit of glow here in this rubble. And you know, I love the fact that we can get fossils in these mines because, well, a lot of fossils were actually found in mines. Okay, where's the fossil? I'm sure there was a fossil, but I can't see the glow anymore. Something happened to it. It vanished. But anyway, many fossils were unearthed in mines, especially in coal mines, but also very often in gravel pits and things like that. Because, I mean, you're digging around in the ground, eventually you are possibly going to uncover something like a fossil. Okay, so I've got no idea where this fossil is. I'll have to come back for it a little bit later. Just going to grab whatever is in the chest here. Wizard pants, well, that is just wizard. Well, that sucks. I would have loved to grab that fossil there. But of course, lots and lots of copper we can also mine here at the Mark of Samith. So that is the reason why we are going to put up a fast travel point here after clearing the area. That will allow us to actually come back and very easily mine a whole bunch of copper. I'm going to put it up there by the crucible. And I do believe that this is Samith hanging over here. Samith has been slain. And of course another silver chest. And we can repair our equipment here. We have dug too far. Samith, your greed for the elixir cannot be quenched. You keep it to yourself when you said you'd share, you liar. We, your people, die for you in those tunnels. For what? We banish you from our midst. Go now, or we will show you the strength of our numbers. Find your elixir somewhere else. This is our mine. So yeah, a bit of a coup there on Samith. I guess they were driven to that by him being not a great leader. And let's grab the crucible here though. And now we do just need to set up a flame altar that is out of range of the copper that we want to mine in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just check. I think this is fine. Yeah, it does appear to be outside, barely, but outside. So we should be able to mine in here, no problem. And yeah, we can just mine a bit of copper over here. But I'm going to do that off screen. For now, we are destroying this fast travel point outside the Mark of Samith. So let's deactivate it. And then we'll head back to our main base, our cave base. And this does now mean that we should be able to craft a smelter. So we need fired brick. I do believe I have that already. Should be here in the kiln. There we go. I've got more than enough. Just taking 50. And let's craft the smelter. And we're just going to put that right over here. Perfect. And now Emily wants a kettle for a cooking station. And we need to head to Pikemead's Reach for that. So Pikemead's, oh, there we go. Pikemead's Reach right up there. Well, that is quite a distance to travel. So we're not going to do that today. What we are going to do, though, is we are going to head right over there for the table saw. So first, we're going to just drop everything off. We're just going to start smelting some copper bars. And now, we will head on over to the Revelwood once more. Now the sun is getting low, so we most likely will be running around the Revelwood a bit at night, which is fine. Hopefully my torch now actually works, because I've had the issue where some things like torches don't illuminate the night, the explosions don't show, the banshee bolts don't show, all kinds of things simply don't show up. Which is not great when you're trying to fight banshees, for example, or trying to run around the Revelwood at night. looking for things. So hopefully that is fixed. I did verify the files, that didn't work. I did recompile the shaders after updating my drivers, that didn't work. And I have now uninstalled and reinstalled the game, and hopefully now it works. Now I'm pretty sure we're coming up at some kind of checkpost here, so they would most likely be. There we go. I think there is a nice big enemy over there. Not sure whether it is the acid edge guy, but let's start bombarding him from a distance in any case. I don't think it was the acid edge guy. No. It was in fact... It was the shroud person. Oh. Probably was a shroud person. And... Or maybe not. No, it is a scavenger. Why did the scavenger look like a shroud person after killing it? There we go. He's dead though. And there is also a dead Vuka here, which is strange. Oh, hello, Wolfie. Right, since there was a checkpoint, I most likely would reach a town by following this road, so that is what we are going to do. And it will probably be one taken over by scavengers. I love the fact that everywhere we go, we can randomly come across little ponds where you can fish, which is absolutely marvelous. Again, a lot of Phragmites around here. I don't believe we can actually craft, at least not yet. I don't think we can craft the paper reed, the Phragmites here. Hopefully though we can, because oh, that would be lovely to actually add to my little water feature there in the Springlands, there by Longkeep, where I restored the forest in the previous episode. Alright, now we are coming up on another town over here, and you know what? I'm going to set up another fast travel point right here. Right here. I already see a guy up there. Up there. There we go. And he's dead. Now, this is apparently where the circular saw would have been. But I don't think. I think the scavengers most likely moved it. We just need to find out where. Problem is, it is nighttime now, and I'm not taking on Thornhold at night. I'm also not keen to actually attack the fell creatures here. I'm looking for something else. It is nighttime, so let's equip our torch. Oh, wonderful, the torch actually works. I'm looking for something else. There are Gloomberries, I believe, in the Revelwood. Oh, and moths. Very, very importantly, moths. So the moths here would be incredibly important pollinators. We often think of butterflies and bees and things like that as pollinators, but moths are also incredibly important, especially for your night flowering plants. And yes, there are plants that flower specifically at night, so that they can be pollinated either by bats or by moths, which are just, you know, butterflies in camo. That's what moths basically are. Less fabulous butterflies. They are in the group Lepidoptera, after all. The Lepido referring to scale, Terra with a silent P usually, that refers to wing. And when we add it together, it's Lepidoptera. Then we actually do pronounce the P in Terra. And we're just going to run around here. I'm actually looking not for shroud people, not for the fell. I'm looking, and actually not even for moths, actually, really. I'm gathering... Oh, we found a night sanctum, apparently. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know where the night sanctum is, because it's... don't think it's up here. It's probably below somewhere. Yeah, it's definitely not up here. I'm looking for gloomberries. Now, gloomberries are plants that are only available at night. So, like the midnight lilies we encountered in the Springlands, the gloomberries only fruit, it seems, at night. And that is also very interesting because, well, normally fruiting is less timed. So what I mean there is we won't generally have something that fruits only at night. Flowers, yes, because it's easy to actually have a flower and then keep it closed during the daytime and then only open it up at night. And that allows things like these moths to then go and visit their flowers. But to produce fruit, the fruit will be available whether it's daytime or nighttime. It doesn't matter. So I don't think it's really possible to have nocturnal fruit. Still not finding gloomberry, just shroud people, just the fell all over the place. And some moths again as well. More moths, yeah, may as well grab them. And more moths. I think I'm just seeing the fell. I'm not seeing any... Oh, there we go, gloomberry to my left. Just as I was about to give up. There we go, so there's a gloomberry. It seems to actually be growing just as a single stalk out of the ground. So maybe that does explain why we can actually have nocturnal fruit. It's mostly underground, and then at night it seems to then just produce a longish stalk very quickly. So it probably just swells up. It just fills with water and swells up and then produces that fruiting stalk above ground. And there are some more here, and you know what? I'm actually going to record this on the map so that if I need gloomberries, and there are quite a few gloomberries here, I can come to this general area and grab some. Because I think I saw one to this side as well. There we go, there are two over here as well. Okay, so we're getting quite a few gloomberries. We can't grow these, we can't harvest them in the daytime, we can only come and grab them at night. So it's good to mark these. There's a good idea. Oh, it seems as though the Indigofera here, the indigo plant, had some moths there. So possibly it is actually pollinated by moths. Now the Indigofera would have, and what I was saying is it's good to put markers on your map so you know where to go and find some of these resources. You know what? I'm going to take on these fell people because I am looking for those fresh shroud spores as well. You have no power here. Oh, there are some more hiding on the low ground. Well, I've got the high ground. Now we have equal ground. Let's grab the fresh shroud spore here. Again, something you can only harvest at night. But anyway, as I was about to say there about the Indigofera with the moths flying around it, I don't think Indigofera is really pollinated by moths, or if it is, it's not specialized for moth pollination. Indigofera, they would be visited by things like bees as well, and all kinds of other pollinators, so they are very much generalists when it comes to what pollinates them. I've got no idea what's... Oh, I've got an idea. What we see there, the green glow, that is that mushroom crab that is attacking something. Oh, we've got a bunch of gloomberries up here as well. The mushroom crab was attacking something. I don't know what. Probably that shroud person, that fell person over there. There we go. And with that, it's a level up. And this does mean we can grab mithraditism. Now it is nighttime now. I think I've got enough gloomberries for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to travel back home to our cave home. We're going to repair our equipment, pack away a bunch of stuff, sleep to make it daytime, and then head on over back to Thornhold. I'm really keen to get a table saw, because once we have that, we are going to make some lovely wood planks. And with the wood planks there, well, we are going to make a lovely home. And you will see that as time progresses, because I've already chosen a nice spot for a hobbit hole. Of course, one has to build a hobbit hole in the game here. Now, we've got to look here in Thornhold, it seems. Never mind. Apparently, just getting here already tells us, no, it is in fact not here. We need to run this way in order to actually get the saw blade. Most likely, yeah, it's most likely at the scavenger base up here. Fawn Song Frontier, yeah. That sounds about right. Alright, and if I'm not mistaken, there's another matron up here. Hello, are you guys so oblivious that I can just walk right up to you and then just say hello? The only guy that's actually paying attention is that guy over there, and now he's on fire. And also dead. Seems to me the scavengers, they weren't hiring the brightest of the bunch. Oh, hello. I also rolled a nat 1 on my perception there with this guy over here. And yes, that is a D&D reference. I do love Dungeons and Dragons. Obviously, I'm a real nerd. And there we go. Things are going well. We'll see how well it goes once the matron actually shows up, which is, I think, right across the bridge there. But very importantly, there is a circular saw blade right over there. Right, now, let's cross the bridge here. And let's first set this guy on fire. And slice and dice and block and stun and do all those wonderful things to him. And then we'll draw the matron's attention by shooting her belly. Oh, hello, Wolfie. And here comes the poison vial. Or vials, actually. Oh, and, oh, yes, she summons wolves. So as if The poison wasn't bad enough already. Oh, I'm also wet, so yeah, let's just quickly dry off while she's walking around there. Alright, good, good, good. I don't want to have that stamina debuff while I'm fighting her. She's probably going to summon wolfies again now. Yeah, there we go. Indeed. And of course throw poison on us as well. Thankfully we have got the mithraditism skill. So let's just, you know, drink a bit of healing potion. And a bit more potion, I guess. And you know what? This calls for explosive time. Oh, we are still poisoned. That poison is vicious. I thought I'd be fine, you know, with the... yeah, with my... with my mithraditism skills, but no, it turns out I wasn't fine. So we're just going to keep on... Oh, she's blocking. Okay, well, you block the explosions. Good luck on that. Good luck with that. And she's almost dead. And she is... yeah, there we go. There she is. And she's dead. Oh, I thought she was going to explode. I really thought she was going to explode. Anyway, she's gone. And we got a Gem of Retaliation. Additional blunt weapon damage whenever I block a hit. Well, that is nice. Okay. Took us all day to get here, it seems, because it looks as though it is actually becoming nighttime again. So let us head around here. I think, if I'm not mistaken, there are some other chests for us. I think, yeah, there we go. I think we can head down that side. Once we have gotten rid of this guy over here. And there we go. Yeah, let's just jump right down here. Grab the silver chest. For the wizard hat and the ring of mana. And we'll just make our way around here. Up the ladders. Nice silver chest over here, which has the city wall blocks, and those are lovely. I do love the city wall block design. But we're gonna keep on going higher. Higher and higher we go. Up to the golden chest. Alright, not great, but it's something at least. Something to put on the wall. But, very importantly now, we should be able to craft the table saw. And there we go, we've got everything we need. We're just going to place that right over here, I think. And there we go, grabbing the wood planks here gives us refined wood blocks at the workbench. And well, that will look lovely inside the hobbit hole I'm going to create. Now, one thing I am still looking for is stinging nettle. I'm not sure where it is. I know you can find it here in the Revelwood. And I know of one spot to almost certainly get it. So let's head on over there, shall we? We're going to go to the Revelwood Spire, and then we're just going to glide on over to Dietwyn. Because there are some farm crops there, where one can get stinging nettle. I do just have to be careful, because, well, there are a lot of wild boars in the area here, and I'm hearing them already. Now, the wild boars here, they do occur in sounders, so they are in groups, which makes them extra dangerous. Now, here we go, there's another one. Oh, there we go, there's the blinding. So, 3 of them together. Well, 2 of them together now. And 1 left. Which we blocked, thankfully. There we go. Whew. Very, very bulky. Let's have a look at the tusks, though. Oh, wow, those are massive, massive tusks. Yeah, so the teeth growing out the... it looks like the upper jaw, actually. So it resembles very much the tusks of elephants. But, of course, boars do also have tusks growing out the top and the lower jaw. But here's the reason why I am here. The stinging nettle farm plot. So we can grab 1 over here and 1 more over here. Now, I really don't want to stand too close to it because, well, they are called stinging nettles for a reason. And the interesting thing is that this is where urticating hares get their name from. Urticating hairs being things like the tarantulas, like Axel in Grounded 2 that we fought previously in an episode. Those tarantulas there have got extremely irritating hairs. Hairs that kind of burn and itch when they come into contact with your skin. And they're called urticating hairs. And a whole bunch of plants have urticating hairs, but the name comes from Urtica, which is a genus of the stinging nettles over here. So we are going to harvest the stinging nettles, and we're going to grow stinging nettles when we have our botanical gardens set up. And that will be in the Nomad Highlands, I think. That's where I'm going to set up my botanical gardens. So very soon, I will be setting that up. And of course, the reason why the stinging nettles are stinging is so that herbivores don't eat them. Now, of course, despite the urticating hairs and generally being avoided by things like herbivores, we as humans have decided, you know what, we are going to eat this. But it requires preparation. You can't just go and munch on stinging nettles. You're going to have a horrible time for it. But the stinging properties of the plant gets broken down by soaking it in water. I'm not too keen on that one. Or, and this is most likely what I would do if I were to eat stinging nettles, boiling the nettles. That will actually get rid of the stinging properties and allow the safe consumption of the nettle. And that is most likely what I would do if I were to eat stinging nettles, and I would love to still try stinging nettles. It has been used as food for a very, very long time. Also, you can make clothes with it. Now, of course, you do need to, prepare it so it doesn't sting you, but bast fibers, so the inner bark of the plant, has been used for millennia, really. And there are some burial sites, ancient burial sites in Europe, that actually contain cloth made from nettle, from Urtica. And it's prepared in a very similar way to how flax is prepared. And that process is known as retting, and we'll talk about that at some point still. It's a very laborious process, but you can make cloth with that. You can make yarn, at least, using the process of retting. Now, interesting, and we are probably going to just fight some animated skeletons over here. Yeah, there we go. We're just going to whack them, and while we whack them, with the nettle, what is very interesting is once the plant actually reaches the flowering and seed setting stages, they develop little cystoliths. Cyst referring to cystolith, cyst-like. Liths referring to rocks, so cyst-like rocks, which is composed of calcium carbonate, and those would then be present in the stems and leaves, and it makes it a little bit unpleasant, well, more unpleasant to eat. So it's best to avoid eating it, when it has got cystoliths. Now, it does look as though there's going to be something up there at the top of the tower, so I'm trying my best to get up there. I don't know whether there is actually a way to get up there. Well, maybe along here. And then along here. And then up here. Yes, and there is absolutely nothing at the top here. Well, a complete waste of time, I guess. At least there's always the view. And I think that is where I'm going to call it today, everybody. So thank you very much for joining me on a little adventure here. Hope you had fun. I will be back on Tuesday with another episode of Flotsam. And then we're going to probably start heading towards the Nomad Highlands. Maybe not yet. Maybe still a bit of time in the Revelwood. But I'm going to really start getting ready to make my hobbit hole and or my botanical gardens. So if you've got any suggestions of what you'd like to see me do next, please drop it down in the comments below. And of course, if you haven't yet, please give the video a nice big thumbs up, like, and subscribe if you haven't yet. It is always great to welcome more people to the Ecology Squad. And until next time, everybody, stay safe. I'll see you all soon. Cheers!